station working for you. This is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Mark Mullins. The coronavirus pandemic continues to set records as we head into the weekend before Thanksgiving. A reminder that officials are asking you to do your part to protect yourself and others. Wear a mask when you're in public, wash your hands, and avoid indoor gatherings, even if it means changing your holiday plans. The United States set another record for new COVID cases today, more than 190,000. Long lines outside testing sites across the country. Since the pandemic began, more than 2 million people have gotten tested in Indiana. About 14% of those tests have come back positive, a rate that has been steadily increasing. Remember, anyone who lives or works in Indiana can get tested for free. Register by going to lhi.care/COVID testing or by calling this number. It's 888-634-1116. Officials are keeping a close eye on Indiana's hospital capacity as COVID cases skyrocket. As of yesterday, 3,077 Hoosiers are hospitalized with COVID. That's a 277% increase since late September, when nearly all of Indiana's restrictions were lifted. About 22% of the state's ICU beds are available, but 42% are currently being used for COVID patients. Some hope on the horizon. A special FDA advisory panel will meet on December 10th to consider an emergency use authorization for Pfizer's COVID vaccine. Pfizer applied for the authorization earlier today. The vaccine's trial began in July, and a final analysis found it 95% effective. Governor Eric Holcomb will remain in quarantine until December 1st, even though he and his wife have tested negative for COVID. On Tuesday, Holcomb's office announced several members of his security detail tested positive. Despite today's negative results, Indiana's top health officials are advising the governor and the First Lady to continue their 14-day quarantine. The traditional inauguration events to mark the swearing in of the Governor Eric Holcomb for his second term in office are postponed due to COVID-19. The Republican Party made that announcement today. Under state law, Holcomb does have to take an oath of office before his next term begins January 11th. The party says details of that swearing in will be released later by the governor's office. Tuesday at 7 p.m., we are going inside COVID crisis in Indiana. You'll hear from a 30-year-old man who survived a harrowing battle with the coronavirus and candid conversations with healthcare workers who are putting their health on the line to protect you. Our WRTV News special, Inside the COVID Crisis, airs Tuesday at 7 p.m. For close to 5 decades, the Moselle Sanders Foundation has fed tens of thousands of hungry Hoosiers on Thanksgiving Day. But the pandemic is presenting a whole new set of challenges for the organization's 49th annual dinner. WRTV's Cameron Riddle shows you why organizers need your help to pull it off safely.
2020 has been hard on all of us, and the effects of the pandemic have not been any easier on organizations trying to carry on their annual Thanksgiving services, including dinners and food drives.
It's a pandemic, and we've never faced anything like this. We're used to serving at least 30,000 meals, and that's been condensed to 10,000 meals.
Due to restrictions on crowd sizes, the number of volunteers for the annual Moselle Sanders Thanksgiving dinner is limited, and that reduces the number of Hoosiers the organization can feed. Crowd size and the health of volunteers are added challenges Stephen Sanders and his team at the Moselle Sanders Foundation are dealing with this year.
It's a lot of changes. We have to take temperatures this year of people, not only the food, but people this year. It's a whole different time.
Adding to their challenges, the Sanders team will not have access to its most helpful tool, the huge kitchen at Butler University, where in the past, food had been centrally prepared for distribution. Due to COVID, they can't use Butler's facilities and will instead rely on the kitchens in a dozen restaurants and churches. But after solving that problem, there is still an issue. The food has to then be directly delivered to the homes of those who need it, and that takes more volunteers.
We need drivers with cargo vans or like pickup trucks, something that can haul a mass amount.
Sanders says in a year of obstacles, he is certain that when Hoosiers hear this call for help, they will come together and pull off a Thanksgiving that not even a pandemic can cancel.
What I don't like to see is someone say they didn't receive a meal. And that's the purpose of this foundation, is to ensure everyone has access to a meal on Thanksgiving Day.
Cameron Riddle, WRTV.
Sanders says they have all the volunteers they can take on the day of Thanksgiving. He says the day they really need help is on Tuesday when they have to shuttle the food to the restaurants and churches to be cooked. If you think you could help, visit mosellesanders.org to sign up. If you need a hand this Thanksgiving, the Indianapolis Parks and Recreation Department is holding 2 free turkey giveaways tomorrow. One is at Watkins Park beginning at 9 a.m. The other is at Frederick Douglass Park at noon. Both giveaways are drive-through only and while supplies last. And if you have the means to give back this holiday season, the annual WRTV Toy Drive is happening now. You can drop off new unwrapped gifts at several U-Store locations. We'll also be collecting items at Indianapolis area Simon Malls on December 5th. For more information, go to WRTV.com/Toy Drive.
Most of us have been pretty dry this evening and into tonight, but there has been one persistent band of some showers here. Lines up near Muncie and a little heavier there as we get into northern Delaware County, around Alexandria as well, and then stretches back to the west here. And this will continue through the overnight, but most areas will not see much in the way of rainfall. Temperatures still in good shape out there. Many locations in the 50s, 55 downtown in Martinsville. A little cooler in Tipton at 49 degrees. As we go into tomorrow morning, we will have some areas of rain around, and I think the best chances as we get south of Interstate 70 with those temperatures that will start off the day here in the middle 40s for us. Shouldn't be too much of a breeze out there. We'll have a lot of dry time, I think, on Saturday, but as we get later in the day and into Sunday, those rain chances really starting to ramp up. We'll talk about how much rainfall you can expect for the weekend coming up.
Developing tonight in Wisconsin, 8 people are hurt after a shooting at a mall near Milwaukee. A manhunt is underway right now for the suspect. People started hearing gunshots inside the mall this afternoon and ran for cover. Officials say thankfully the injured victims are all expected to survive. WRTV's Hiring Hoosiers is always working to connect you to a wide range of job opportunities. And while the COVID-19 pandemic forced many businesses to downsize or even close, that is not the case for the veterinarian medicine industry. In fact, a local family-run chain of clinics is expanding and looking for workers. Noah's Animal Hospitals has been around for 35 years with 9 locations across central Indiana. The company has about 250 employees now and is adding to its team. Noah's is looking for all types of experience levels for a number of open positions, from entry-level pet care specialists, which includes walking and feeding pets, to client service reps, to veterinarian technicians and assistants. Scarlett West started as a client services rep with no experience. She greets clients, schedules appointments, and answers phones. As she excels in that position, the company is training her to work more closely with animals now.
Yeah, so they do very well with training and being super supportive and push me to be like the best that I can be. They have known since I started that I wanted to be a technician, and so certain circumstances really pushed it back up until this year. But ever since, a couple months ago, they've really been pushing me to better my skills and just make sure that I'm the best tech I can be.
The pay rate for entry-level positions with Noah's Animal Hospital starts around $10 an hour. Pay ranges go up from there depending on the position and experience. We provided a link to the Noah's career page at hiringhoosiers.com. That's also where you can find information about other companies that are hiring right now and programs that can help you if you're looking to make a career change. A criminal background can be a major barrier for some Hoosiers who are looking for work, and that's why a Bloomington man is working to help others turn his life around just like he did. A moving company that began with just 1 truck 5 years ago now has grown to 5 trucks with 23 employees. Founded by Antonio Jackson, an ex-felon, he knows how difficult it is to find work for those who have just finished serving time. So AJ started Big Boys Moving Company, where a majority of his employees are also ex-felons.
We try to make these men and women feel like you belong here, and all of us together make our community better. It makes us safer, and I'm invested into this so much because my children are growing up here.
There's not anything that any of us are too good to do. We will do anything for each other and just for our job and for ourselves, you know what I mean? It shows how far we've came and what we're willing to do to be a productive member of society.
AJ and his wife, Anna, also require their employees to take classes on self-improvement and do volunteer work within the community. To learn more about Big Boys Moving, we'll put a link on our website at WRTV.com. Meanwhile, more states are certifying election results that have made Joe Biden president-elect. Still ahead, The latest on his team's efforts to prepare to lead the country. And investing in successful virtual learning. More money is going towards sites that will help Marion County students as they transition back to e-learning. One final step on the road to Lucas Oil Stadium. A bunch of local teams will be playing for state football titles this weekend, next weekend rather. We'll have a recap of tonight's action when the news at 11 continues.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Marion County students will not be returning to their classrooms when Thanksgiving break is over. Districts have until the 30th to transition to all virtual learning, a measure that city-county leaders hope will slow the spread of COVID-19. To help families facing barriers to e-learning like technology and childcare, Indianapolis is opening up 22 additional community learning sites that can serve up to 800 students. The sites provide school day supervision and high-speed internet. Community learning sites opened at the beginning of the year, but many shut down as schools transitioned back to in-person learning. Hannah Cheney says that she never thought her daughter would have issues with virtual learning, but their slow internet access led to frustration at home, so they tried a community learning site.
She's coming home just like a normal school day, telling me what all they did. And there's so much more to learning than just sitting at a computer and your teacher teaching.
The Mind Trust is committing an additional $207,000 to the community learning sites. They will be available for free to any student until at least January 15th, and that's when the mayor's virtual learning order is scheduled to expire. There's a new addition to the playground at Independence Park in Greenwood. This afternoon, families got their first look at this interactive arch that uses sound to make sure all kids have a chance to play. The Yalp Sona Arch lets children choose from 5 interactive games that the whole family can enjoy. The new technology was made possible by a partnership between A Kid Again and the NBA All-Star Host Committee.
The one thing that we all got together and talked about is how can we make an impact beyond the game of basketball? People will come to Indianapolis, they'll watch the game, and they'll go home. But what can we do for our communities to make a lasting legacy?
Even though the NBA All-Star Game is in jeopardy because of the pandemic, the host committee has committed to 21 community projects across the state focused on helping all kids get out and play.
And it was a great day for the kids to get out there on the playground for a little while as we had temperatures in the 60s. The weekend, though, may see those playgrounds a little sparse here again, as temperatures are only going to be in the 40s both Saturday and Sunday, and we've got those chances for rain as well. Right now we're dry downtown though, with a mild temperature of 55, 56 for you in Lafayette, and middle 50s with those cloudy skies in the Bloomington area. Just this one narrow band of rain that continues there from around Crawfordsville between there and Lafayette, and then stretches across portions of Boone, Hamilton counties, and around the Muncie area. And it's been, again, just kind of lingering over the same locations. The rest of us will be mostly cloudy and mainly dry tonight, with the temperature dropping down to 44 in Indy, 43 in Lafayette, and 43 degrees for you in Richmond. So not a bad start, not overly chilly, but it won't warm up a whole lot from there. As we look at the Saturday forecast here, periods of rain showers through the morning. I think it will be light and scattered there. Those temperatures, though, only moving a couple of degrees, not budging a whole lot at all, even into the afternoon at around 49. There's more cloud cover, so we aren't going to see much in the way of any sunshine tomorrow. And then as we get later in the day, those rain chances starting to ramp up once again. So here's a look at Saturday morning at 8 a.m. with a few of those showers. Again, really favoring the southern half of the state. Some dry weather into the afternoon, but then that rain comes right back in here, and I think it's going to be more widespread overnight Saturday into Sunday morning. And look at that, even a few snow showers possible early Sunday around Logansport and the Kokomo areas. Not expecting accumulations as temperatures stay above the freezing mark. And then that system should get out of here second half of the day on Sunday, but areas are looking at about 3/4 to maybe 1.5 inches of rain. There's a look at the temperatures as we go from Saturday into into Sunday morning, lower 40s. And the 7-day planning forecast is going to show us that cool air sticking around for a couple of days. 45 your high on Sunday as well as Monday, but at least Monday we should dry out and see a little more sunshine coming our way. We're in the upper 40s there on Tuesday. Another system comes in here for Wednesday. Could bring some locally heavy rainfall for that travel day. And then as we get into Thanksgiving Day itself, looking pretty good, Mark, as things dry out with a high of 54.
Sounds good to me, Kyle. Thank you. An Indianapolis wedding photographer who got COVID-19 wants to share his story in hopes of helping others. Rick Miller has been a professional photographer since 1983. He does shoots with a lot of families, even famous ones, and weddings. Rich started feeling weird on Election Day. He lost his sense of smell. He tested positive on November 5th. Rich isn't sure where he got it. Perhaps a wedding, a family photo session, or even voting early.
I was cautious, whenever I was at a wedding, at a reception where other people, were not wearing masks. I always had mine on, and I tried to keep social distance, but sometimes it was just unavoidable.
Health officials say large gatherings like weddings are big spreaders of the virus. In Marion County, weddings and other seasonal gatherings are limited to 25% capacity unless they get a planned approval by the health department. Now, Rich is now negative for COVID, but still can't smell, he says. He's nervous about going back to work and is asking everyone to do their part by wearing a mask. The election is over, but all eyes are now on Georgia. That's where the balance of power in the Senate will be decided. Vice President Mike Pence made several stops there today in support of 2 Republican candidates. Both Senate races were close enough to trigger runoff elections. They take place on January 5th. President Donald Trump's eldest son is the latest in his inner circle to test positive for COVID-19. The president's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, was sidelined earlier when his own son tested positive, hampering the legal fight to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Camila Bernal shows you President-elect Joe Biden remains focused on transition with the inauguration just 2 months away.
President-elect Joe Biden is moving forward with his transition plans, meeting with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer Friday to discuss a COVID relief bill.
They're in lockstep agreement that there needs to be emergency assistance and aid during the lame duck session to help families, to help small businesses.
This as President Donald Trump continues to deny reality.
The campaign, which I won, by the way, but
fighting the results of the election even as his options narrow. Georgia now certifying the votes for Biden's victory.
I believe that the numbers that we have presented today are correct.
The Republican governor there will sign off on the results, but is also leaving a door open for President Trump.
State law now requires the governor's office to formalize the certification, which paves the way for the Trump campaign to pursue other legal options in a separate recount.
Meanwhile, the president meeting behind closed doors with 3 Republican lawmakers from Michigan.
Where's the evidence of fraud?
Another flip blue state set to certify its votes next week.
This is not an advocacy meeting. There will be no one from the campaign there.
2 of those lawmakers issuing a joint statement after the meeting, saying they have seen no information so far that would change the results of the election. I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
We start our semi-state coverage at Ben Davis. Top-ranked Center Grove won the regular season matchup by 3 touchdowns, but they had quite a tangle in the first half tonight. Each team scoring on its first possession. Daniel Weems with the touchdown run for CG. BD answered with a nice pass from Jawan Swanson to Dylan Moore. A pair of missed kicks left the game tied 6-6 after 1. The second quarter wasn't pretty, but each team managed another score. Great play fake by Tavon Jackson. The Center Grove QB finds Weems for his second spot in the end zone. Giants come right back with a big play. Swanson up top to Donnell Mason. He breaks free for the 67-yard score. Ball square at 13-13 when they broke for halftime. A massive change in momentum in the third. Weems' third score of the night put CG back in front by 7. Then on the kickoff that followed, Ben Davis fumbled. The Trojans recovered and busted the game open from there. Carson Steele's first score of the night made it a 14-point margin. Steele would get another one just 3 minutes later. It was a 21-0 advantage for Center Grove in the quarter. They got 2 more scores in the fourth. Big lineman Caden Curry with the fullback dive over the top made it a 28-point lead, and Steele would get 1 more before it was all done. 48-13, yet another dominating win for Center Grove. The 9th win in 13 games this season by 5 touchdowns or more. CG is going back to state for the 6th time in school history.
We just had to get it going up front and just bring it instead of just letting them take hit to us. We just had to bring it and keep going to get our tempo up, to get them off their feet and just keep going.
Everybody just kind of feeds off of each other, and once defense makes a big play, then offense makes a big play, and you almost like compete with each other back and forth to see who gets the bigger play. And that's the great thing about Center Grove. You just keep going and going.
And all the stuff that's going on in the communities, and you're trying to keep kids in schools, and schedules are changing. I take our hats off to all these kids out here playing football after all the communities and what's going on with the virus and stuff. Our kids are holding through and next man up and staying strong.
Center Grove will face Westfield for the 6A state title. The Shamrocks went to Merrillville and came away with a 41-23 win. It'll be Westfield's first shot at the 6A championship. They won 5A state in 2016. Zionsville is celebrating a semi-state title tonight. The Eagles got past Valparaiso 27-9. After going just 4-5 in the regular season, they'll be playing in the finals for the first time in 20 years. Zionsville gets Cathedral next week. Dave Barry continues our coverage with a 4A showdown.
The Class 4A matchup had Roncalli host in Mooresville, and Roncalli would come out running. Barron Hubler would plow up the middle for the touchdown. It was a quick 7-0 Roncalli lead. A series later, if it worked once, let's try it again. Number 35 would get his number called, and Hubler doesn't disappoint. Up the middle for the touchdown, they'd grab a quick 14-0 lead. The Pioneers just didn't have any answers early. Roncalli again on the attack. Who else but Hubler? This time around the corner, airborne at the 3, lands in the end zone for the touchdown, 21-0, and we're still just in the first quarter. In the second, more of the same. Hubler up the middle for the touchdown, his 4th on the night, and a 28-0 Roncalli lead. Mooresville would come back late in the second quarter, would rally for 2 touchdowns. Here, Nate Peterson takes it in and cuts the lead, 28-14 at the half. But in the third quarter, Roncalli right back at it. Aiden Leffler, the keeper, he takes it in for the touchdown. Then it was back to the Hubler show. He finds the end zone for the 5th time tonight. Roncalli wins this one, 42-14.
I'm just proud of the kids, that their confidence that they displayed, really playing for one another, coming together and playing some really great football at the end of the year.
We got to do what we got to do to win, and I'm so proud of everybody. The linemen played well, the receivers when we went outside blocked well, and Aiden did very well. I'm just very, very proud of our guys. I can't say enough about our linemen. I swear. I'll say it again, that I think they're the best O-line in the state.
Dave Marin, WRTV Sports.
It'll be a pair of local teams in the 3A finals. Bishop Chatard and Danville advance with Friday night wins. Western Boone will get a chance to defend the 2A title. The Stars rolled past Evansville Mater Dei 42-7. The Covenant Christians in the finals for the very first time. They stayed unbeaten with a huge win to advance to the 1A championship. So here's a look at the pairings for next weekend's state finals at Lucas Oil Stadium. The lineup for games and times are still to be determined by the IHSAA. Games will start at 11 a.m. on both Friday the 27th and Saturday the 28th. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
Back to reality for November here this weekend. You're going to need the jacket and the umbrella. Occasional chances for rain with highs in the 40s there. We'll dry it out early in the week. Chance for some rain there on Wednesday, and then looking pretty good right now for Thanksgiving, Mark. We got highs in the mid-50s.
Downtown Indy's looking good tonight, too. Thanks for joining us for WRTV News at 11. Have a great and a safe weekend, everyone.